Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1FM, and 990 AM, WEEB. Hey, thanks for making us a part of your Wednesday. I am Steve Leader Adams, and this program is being seen around the world on our live video stream. That's available from the website at talk973.com. Top middle of the page is the link that will get you there on your app, on your phone, your tablet, your YouTube app will do the work for you. Put Mornings with the Leader Man in there, or you can always just listen to our audio stream. That's available portably on your app, iPhone or tablet or whatever. It's available with streaming services like TuneIn, iTunes, and Streama. Others work also. Just put WEEB into the search and we should pop up there. And if you're on your website, it's always available in the upper right-hand corner of every web page where it says Listen Live, the little icon. You tap that icon one time and you're listening just that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sand Hills. Partly cloudy today, unseasonably warm. Look for a high of 76. This is getting ridiculous now. This is dead center of winter. And we're sweating? Running air conditioning? Come on. Tonight, partly cloudy, 58 is all the low will be. And then for Thursday, just as ridiculous, even warmer for tomorrow as we go up for a high of 79 in February. Just imagine what August is going to do. This is all part of that high that sits out there in the Atlantic and pushes up that southeast flow from the Gulf with all the moisture and everything else. And that's what we experience in the summer around here for 6 months. And we just get steam bath. And but the high is weaker in the wintertime, and it gets pushed back into the Atlantic, and then we can get some cooler air from the northeast in here. But this year the high is just even stronger, it seems like, and it's just, stuck its chest out and blocked the cooler air, and thus we get the southeast winds coming in here to just smoke us. But this high is going to break down again Friday night and allow some cooler air back in here for the weekend. And next week we'll be in the upper 50s, low 60s. Still way too warm for this time of year in February. Anyway, Thursday 79 and Friday 74. Your nighttime low is going to be hanging around 50. Saturday partly cloudy, high of 49. So we have a low overnight 50 Friday, and then the temperature drops to 49 for a high on Saturday. Saturday night, 28 for your low. Sunday, isolated shower, small chance, high of 51. Monday, 57, and Tuesday, 58. Now, that's more in the range. I like it. Get to wear a light coat and sit in the sun, and it's real comfortable. Right now, around the Sand Hills, where you go walking, and you work up a little body heat, and you don't even need that light coat. Right now, winds are calm. Visibility is at 5 statute miles at the airport. So a little fog out there. Pressure is 3012, dew point 47. Humidity maxed at 100%. And we have 47 degrees here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. How is it? It's already February and we haven't had a country music award show yet, huh? They have over 350 award shows throughout the year. And then you have the more major award shows that it seems like there's 2 or 3 a month. But it all changes tonight, my friends. It all changes tonight.
It's been more than a month since a country award show. The wait is finally over. Tonight, it's the Carrie Underwood Awards, hosted by
Carrie Underwood!
And the ACM Entertainer of the Year is Carrie Underwood.
Entertainer of the Year, Carrie Underwood.
The Oscar goes to
Carrie Underwood.
And your favorite Instagram pet is Carrie Underwood.
The next Iron Chef is
Carrie Underwood.
Don't miss the special tribute to Carrie Underwood, performed by country great Carrie Underwood. And the surprise guest of the night, you guessed it,
Carrie Underwood. This means so much. Thank you.
Don't miss the Carrie Underwood Awards tonight on CBS.
Today's show is brought to you by Hump Day. Think how much HR hates this word every Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah, we already did that. All right, on to stupid news this morning. Samsung released a dating app called Refrigerator Dating. You heard right, Refrigerator Dating, where you meet people based on what's in your fridge. You upload a photo of what's in your fridge and swipe through photos like you're on Tinder, only you're looking at what's in someone's fridge. It's mainly a promotion gimmick to sell their new $4,000 refrigerators that come with a huge touchscreen on the door. But you don't need a special fridge in order to use the app.
Welcome to Refrigerating, an app from Samsung that works with the Family Hub refrigerator to take a picture of the inside of your fridge and match you with your forever dinner date. They say you are what you eat, so what do the contents of your fridge say about you? Maybe you're health conscious, or aren't home much, or is that an open can of cat food? It's free and available through your web browser, so it'll work with any phone.
Okay. That sounds like a thrill a minute there. A man in Fort Worth died last week from a vape pen explosion. It ruptured one of his arteries and caused a stroke. He was found in a parking lot of a vape store. Here's the story.
The Tarrant County Medical Examiner says the 24-year-old died January 29th from a stroke caused by a severed artery from a vaporizer pen explosion. The explosion happened in the parking lot of a vape shop. The shop tells us Brown didn't buy anything, but he wanted help using a mechanical mod-style vape pen. A brand it doesn't sell because it's been known to have issues.
And a jogger. What do you do when you're out jogging? Say along a mountainous trail, and the mountain lion comes up behind you to eat you. What is one to do? Well, here's what one jogger did.
This story is pretty incredible. When the mountain lion bit the runner's face and his wrist, somehow the runner got around the mountain lion and ended up strangling the animal until it died. Now, the runner sustained some pretty serious injuries, but did find help and made it to a local hospital.
Mountain lions are ambush predators, so it may be something about the prey that excites them or attracts them to that.
That's why we're doing the necropsy. Our veterinarians will take a look to determine whether there was any kind of disease, if he was maybe starving, or if it just so happened that as a young cat, he was still kind of learning his hunting instincts.
Mm-hmm. Won't be learning anything else. More stupid news for you. How about firefighters in West Virginia? They got busted for starting fires. That's right. They did the old, like the plot from Backdraft where they started fires so they could respond to them. That's what these guys did.
Just shocked because things like this normally does not happen in Barboursville. I personally do know several of them, and, they're always there. They're always here for the village. And it was wrong. That's just not something you just randomly go out and do, start fires.
Well, we're lucky it didn't get out of control from what they can handle. Or did it? Good news story this morning. There's a video online of some people in Indiana who noticed that a cat was stranded in a frozen lake over the holidays. And a guy stripped down to his boxers to save it. His name is Darren. That's why the woman in the filming keeps shouting Derry. She also says, "Oh my gosh," a lot. But here's the dramatic rescue. Theater of the mind here.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Go, Derry, go!
Come on, Derry, you got this!
Go, get him!
Oh, that poor cat. Oh my gosh.
Keep going, Derry!
Oh my gosh. Derry, you got this!
Oh, that poor cat. It knows. You can touch the bottom out there, ain't it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Break the other shore.
Oh, poor thing.
Hey, drive around. Take one.
They're driving around to get you, Dari. They're coming.
Hey, Dari, get out of the water.
Get out of the water, Dari. Oh, my gosh. The ice is breaking even more.
He did it. The cat's hissing at him.
Is it?
Hey, someone hurry up and drive.
Oh, my gosh. This water is freezing.
You think? That's why ice is on it. All right, another good news story for you. Make you feel good. There's a legally blind high school student in Iowa named Clay Warner. And he made his first and only basketball shot on Friday night. Within moments of him being in the game, he got the ball. Now, he got put in the game because, well, they were 25 points down. And that's when the coach kind of clears the bench to allow everybody, who's been coming to practice to get a chance to play. And he got the ball. Clay did. He got the ball 15 feet out, put up the jumper, and drained it. And even though they were down by 25, he then hustled to get back on defense. Now, there was a couple of guys from the high school doing an internet feed of the ball game. Here is their call.
Clay Warner, the heart and soul of North Polk, coming into the game. Clay Warner with the shot, and it's goal! Clay Warner with the gentleman. Clay Warner with the mid-range shot. Clay Warner with his first varsity basketball points on their feet.
Everyone in the gym was more excited than he might have been about hitting that shot. He was just worried about getting back and playing defense.
I knew the moment he went in that he was going to make his first shot. That's just the type of person Clay is.
All right, State of the Union address last night. Congress sat and listened to the president give the State of the Union. Some of the highlights of it. First of all, overall, it was if you're a Republican, you thought it was a good speech, and it was. And you gave it an A. If you're a Democrat, you didn't hear like a word in it, and you gave it an F. But there were moments where all the new freshman women. Congresswomen all wore white, wore all white dresses, and for the most part sat with their hands up. One thing that really disgusted me was when the president introduced 3 heroes from Omaha Beach, men who stormed the beach. They were like 95, 6, 7. That were there. And if you don't know about Omaha Beach, you need to study World War II a little bit. Because this is, think Saving Private Ryan. That was Omaha Beach. And the reenactment of what they went through, climbed the hills against the overwhelming bullets that were being rained down on them. But anyway, he introduced these 3 World War II veterans who were around, I'd say, 95, 98 years old. One of them couldn't stand up. The other 2 stood up, very happy. And all those female congresswomen sat on their hands while the rest of the House, or rest of the attendants, stood up short of the Supreme Court and the military. And turned and recognized them and applauded them. Now, he introduced other people throughout the night, and I think somebody must have gotten to the women crowd and told them, you don't disrespect the people in the gallery. One of them was a policeman down in Dallas who was recently shot a couple of weeks ago, 7 times, and still due more surgery. But he made it to Washington for the speech and was introduced. They all stood up for that one. And they stood up for several other ones. But it just disgusts me. You got 3 heroes sitting there who stormed Normandy Beach, and none of us can possibly even imagine the horror, the terror that they felt going up that beach with all the bullets and the friends dropping around them. It was only by the grace of God that you survived that attack. But we literally threw more men at them than they had bullets. That's the only way we got up that beach. And these three heroes were very grateful. America was the House and the Senate were both recognizing them. And for those women to sit on their hands, it's just something hard to forgive. It really is. Congress also sang happy birthday to State of the Union to an 81-year-old Joshua Samet, a Holocaust survivor who also survived a synagogue shooting in Pittsburgh last year. He was one of Trump's guests, and his speech happened to fall on his birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
That was him.
They wouldn't do that for me, Judah.
That was him shouting, thank you. But the president, a little smarter than the little liberal wing of the party, of the Democrats, who wanted to sit on their butt all night long. He got him up with his speech. Here's what he said.
No one has benefited more from a thriving economy than women, who have filled 58% of the newly created jobs last year. You weren't supposed to do that. Thank you very much. All Americans can be proud that we have more women in the workforce than ever before. Don't sit yet. You're going to like this. And exactly 1 century after Congress passed the constitutional amendment giving women the right to vote, we also have more women serving in Congress than at any time before.
Yeah, they stood up for that, to pat themselves on the back. But they won't stand up for a hero. Go figure. Trump pulled out his little knife and fork and poked a little bit at the rich people in Congress.
No issue better illustrates the divide between America's working class and America's political class than illegal immigration. Wealthy politicians and donors push for open borders while living their lives behind walls and gates and guards.
Yeah, we all know it, but then when they go to the ballot box, they send the same thing back and go, why doesn't anything ever change? Because you don't do your research. A lot of people don't. And know what each candidate truly stands for, and then make the right choice. You let the Pilot or News and Observer, Fable Observer, tell you who to vote for. Trump hinted at a compromise in the State of the Union speech last night, but also threw shade on Mueller's investigation.
We must reject the politics of revenge, resistance, and retribution, and embrace the boundless potential of cooperation, compromise, and the common good. An economic miracle is taking place in the United States, and the only thing that can stop it are foolish wars, politics, or ridiculous partisan investigations.
Trump's also stated his State of the Union address last night by talking about the economy and the good state it's in, the right direction it's going. He said the State of the Union is strong, and members of Congress, even the little left-wing branch of the Women's Caucus, stood up and chanted. They chanted USA.
That sounds so good.
Let's see here. Trump talking about trade and manufacturing.
I hope you can pass the USMCA into law so that we can bring back our manufacturing jobs in even greater numbers, expand American agriculture, protect intellectual property, and ensure that more cars are proudly stamped with our 4 beautiful words, made in the USA.
Now, Trump also addressed in a roundabout way all those little ladies sitting on their hands all night long with all their socialist views, how everybody should be able to be, you know, it should be a right for everybody to have everything courtesy of their government, just like Venezuela. And he reminded them what America was and what America will never be.
America will never be a socialist country.
I got a lot bigger applause than what that little clip showed. All right, that's it from the president's speech last night. Some of the things we need to know today so we do not sound stupid, and they include celery juice. It's getting a big push online as the big thing you need to be doing for your health. Sunday's low-scoring Super Bowl also scored the lowest ratings in more than a decade, down 10% from last year and averaging 98.2 million viewers. The game still managed to affect Netflix's usual Sunday viewing, which was down 32% during the telecast. Monday was Oscar lunch, where all the nominees gathered to dine and pose for a group picture. Oh, yes, let us all get together and pat ourselves on the back because we are just so talented. Still scheduled for February 24th, but they haven't been able to find anyone perfect enough to host it, so it will be a hostless event. O'Hare Airport has regained its title as the country's busiest. A woman has stepped forward saying that a year ago, singer James Brown raped her. Claims he was murdered. 23% of U.S. broadband households intend to buy a smart thermostat in 2019. The Dodgers now confirming that a foul ball hit and killed a fan at one of their home games last August. It's not good. Won't be long before they have the netting all the way around. You go to a game, you got to watch through a net. Of course, if you're sitting behind the plate where a lot of foul balls end up, you don't mind it so bad. But it is a little. It does detract from the game. Hey, you couldn't make it up. You couldn't make it all the way through the Super Bowl without offending someone. Hyundai's ad with Jason Bateman as an elevator operator angered Begans, who resented someone offering beet loaf as an experience worse than buying a car. A sixth-grade boy who was bullied because of his last name, which was Trump, was among a dozen special guests invited to see the State of the Union speech up close and personal by the president and First Lady Melania Trump. A cryptocurrency company in Canada can't repay $190 million to customers because the CEO died without telling anyone the system's password. Yeah, can't get it. $190 million because you don't know a password. Hawaii is considering banning the sales of cigarettes to anyone under 100. New Jersey has become the fourth state to approve a $15 an hour minimum wage. Yes, that was Jeff Bezos hanging out with the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell at the Super Bowl. The rich kind of compare their private planes with each other. Talk about the little peons out there. A non-lethal weapon was that induces hallucination and vomiting among enemy combatants has been fitted to 2 Russian warships. The 5P-42 Finland, a futuristic dazzler. There's always somebody call in the middle of the show like I can answer that phone. Where was I? Let's go to this. German automaker Audi should have thought about checking out its neighbors in France before settling on a name for its all-electric line, the e-tron. As it happens, it's a little too close to the French word "atron," which means excrement or turd. Today's impossible question. The most popular time to do this is Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time in the month of August. Just use Tinder. From our Did You Know file, 14% of people believe owning a cute dog makes them more attractive to the opposite sex. 60% of women over 35 say telling them they're looking younger is the biggest complaint they can receive. Compliment they can receive. Just over 33% of women say that a man who wears a Bluetooth headset looks uncool. Well, how else are you supposed to talk on the phone? Hold it in the palm like most people do now? They don't put it to the ear. They hold it in their palm and talk. I just don't like holding up the heavy phone to my ear. And I feel like my ear will send it off into Never Never Land to some site I never asked for. And the Bluetooth, when it rains, I put the Bluetooth on and answer the phone. According to a new survey, 1 in 5 people say that in their shoes is their favorite secret spot to hide money. 28% of workers have forgotten to remove a price tag from new clothing. How about that size of the pants long sticker that goes down the back end seam of your right leg, so everybody behind you can see how big your waistline is? It happens. Valentine's Day right around the corner. Here's some key stats for you to help you out. 46% of people would break up with their significant other if he or she spent irresponsibly. So don't go do something stupid with the family money there. Women are 33% more likely than men to spend $0 on a Valentine's Day gift. Men are 2 times more likely than women to spend over $100. Men are over 3 times more likely than women to think Valentine's Day gift is worth going into credit card debt for. 4 in 10 people say irresponsible spending is a bigger turnoff than bad breath. And 53% of people would not marry someone with bad credit. Okay. Out of the Valentine's Day facts, $20.7 billion. That's the total Valentine's Day spending projected. That's $161 per person. Men spend nearly twice as much as women on average for Valentine's Day, $196 to $100. $7.6 billion is the amount Americans will spend on jewelry, flowers, and candy. And $9 million, that's the number of marriage proposals made each Valentine's Day. Just so you know. Liam Neeson was on Good Morning America yesterday to say he's not a racist. He said that he got over his racist rage after a friend's rape by seeing a priest, talking to a friend, and power walking. Here's Liam trying to get himself out of the doghouse.
I was trying to show honor, stand up for my dear friend in this terrible medieval fashion. And I'm a fairly intelligent guy, and that's why it kind of shocked me when I came down to earth after having these horrible feelings. And I did seek help. I went to a priest, I heard my confession, I was reared a Catholic. I had two very, very good friends that I talked to. And believe it or not, power walking 2 hours every day to get rid of this. And I'm not racist. This was nearly 40 years ago. She'd have said an Irish or a Scot or a Brit or a Lithuanian, I know I would have had the same effect.
All right, Liam Neeson. We'll see if it worked. All right, coming up on 8 o'clock, don't forget, next hour we have John Zumwalt and the extended
Good
Zumwalt.
morning.
So.
Another beautiful and warm days in the forecast today, but you'll start to notice an increase in mid to upper level clouds throughout the day today. We're partly sunny and mild. Highs today back in the mid 70s. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy and very warm. Lows in the upper 50s to 60 degrees. Actually warmer than our normal high temperature this time of year tonight. For record-breaking warmth tomorrow, we're looking at highs in the upper 70s to even lower 80s towards the Sandhills. I'm Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sandhills, 97.3 FM, 104.1FM, and 990 AM, WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Addressing a politically divided Congress, President Trump in his State of the Union speech appealing for bipartisanship, saying that politics is one of the few things that could actually derail an economic miracle that he says is now in progress.
The president made the case that America is vibrant and the economy is thriving like never before.
The state of our union is strong.
He pointed to strong job growth, low unemployment, a booming energy sector, and recent bipartisan success on several domestic issues. But the president warned that ridiculous partisan investigations could halt the economic miracle. Greg Clugston, Washington.
The president not backing down on his demand for tightened border security, including the wall, which he vows will be built.
Year after year, countless Americans are murdered by criminal, illegal aliens. I've gotten to know many wonderful angel moms and dads and families. No one should ever have to suffer the horrible heartache that they have had to endure.
Mr. Trump also calling on Congress to ban late-term abortion. And he says he'll meet again with North Korea's Kim Jong-un later this month in Vietnam. Failed Georgia gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams delivering the Democrat response, saying that while she disagrees with Mr. Trump on many things, she does not want him to fail. The Washington Post broke the story. Turns out Elizabeth Warren also claimed Native American heritage when applying for the Texas State Bar back in 1986. A Warren campaign spokeswoman saying the Democrat senator is sorry and should have been more mindful of this earlier in her career. On Wall Street this morning, Dow futures are down 11 points. NASDAQ futures 3 points higher. S&P futures 3 points in the red. More on these stories at townhall.com.
When it comes to your pain, many of you might be skeptical, like I was, about ordering Relief Factor. Pat Boone again for this wonderful 100% drug-free supplement designed to help your own body lower or eliminate occasional aches and pains due to aging, exercise, everyday living. I'm not skeptical any longer. The 3-week quick start is now discounted to only $19.95. Why don't you let us see if we can get you out of pain, too, at ReliefFactor.com.
Are you a responsible person who finds yourself growing deeper in credit card debt? Then get ready for a toll-free number that will put you on a path to financial recovery. Trinity Debt Management will consolidate your accounts and work with your creditors. You'll save thousands and become debt-free for keeps. If your debt has you down, we should talk. Call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. 1-800-990-6976. 1-800-990-6976.
Iran is responding to President Trump after he, in his State of the Union speech, appeared to link the Islamic Republic to a deadly Pennsylvania synagogue attack.
Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif is pushing back after the president said the country does bad things and appeared to link it to the deadly attack on a Pittsburgh synagogue last year by an American anti-Semite. Zarif tweeted, "Iranians, including our Jewish compatriots, are commemorating 40 years of progress despite U.S. pressure." In the address, Trump said Iran chance death to America and threatens genocide against the Jewish people. We must never ignore the vile poison, he said, of anti-Semitism or those who spread its venomous creed. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Germany's cabinet has approved legislation that would loosen but not scrap a ban on doctors advertising abortions. Chancellor Merkel's governing partners, center-left Social Democrats, wanted to remove the ban. Townhall.com. Toyota's fiscal third-quarter profit plunged $12.6 billion.
The third-quarter figure was about a fifth of what the Japanese automaker earned the previous year, despite relatively solid sales. Japan's number one automaker said the profit for the latest quarter was hurt by unrealized gains and losses in equity securities. Toyota lowered its profit for the fiscal year through March to $17 billion, below its earlier projection of a $21 billion profit.
That's correspondent Jeremy House. European Council President Donald Tusk blasting British politicians who lobbied for the UK to leave the EU without first working out how to do it. Tusk giving no indication that the other 27 EU countries will be up for reopening the Brexit withdrawal agreement that Prime Minister Theresa May negotiated, but was overwhelmingly rejected by lawmakers in the UK. More on these stories at townhall.com.
At Keys Appliance in Aberdeen, a modern, streamlined kitchen that makes your life easier is more affordable than ever. Because right now, you'll save up to $1,200 on select GE Profile appliances via online or mail-in rebate. Not only do GE Profile appliances look stunning, but with time-saving features like hands-free autofill, they're designed to make kitchen work much easier. So talk to the kitchen experts at Keys Appliance in Aberdeen and see how GE Profile appliances save you work and save you money. But hurry, this rebate offer ends soon.
Hey, this is Steve Leader Adams. You know, for many years I've had arthritis in my right shoulder. I was at the point that surgery was the only option. Then I discovered pressure wave therapy, available at Wright Chiropractic in Seven Lakes. Pressure wave therapy is a machine that concentrates pulses of pressure waves into your joint at a rate of 2,000 pulses per minute. The treatment is non-invasive and there is no downtime. Pressure waves help your body restore blood flow to your damaged joints and can even remove bone spurs and works on almost any joint in the body, including knees, hips, feet, and elbows. I've gone to only being able to raise my arms from 90 degrees to a full 360-degree motion. You can live pain-free too, without going under a surgeon's knife. Give Dr. Sharon Wright a call at Wright Chiropractic in Seven Lakes. 910-673-2225. That's 910-673-2225.
Carolina Air Comfort and Safety, because we care. Clean, professional, heating and cooling. Carolina Air, the friendly guys. Service, installation, and regular maintenance. Unbeatable, dependable, every time. So CarolinaAir.com. Carolina Air Comfort and Safety, because we care.
Take advantage of Carolina Air's one-time $49 maintenance special. Get an extensive 32-point inspection that includes checking air filters and thermostats, drain cleaning, and more. A tune-up prolongs the life of your heating and cooling system and prevents costly repairs. Just $49. Call Carolina Air at 910-947-7707 or visit CarolinaAir.com.
Carolina Air Comfort and Safety, because we care.
Next to your home, your vehicle is one of the largest investments you'll make. Hey, it's Anthony from Champion Car Wash and Detail Shop. People tell us all the time, I have a vehicle at home that I only wash by hand and I don't need to have it detailed all the time. Well, did you know Champion hand washes vehicles too? Give us a call at 692-5060 to find a time to get your vehicle properly hand washed using the 3-bucket method to ensure your vehicle is cleaned as gently as possible. That's Champion Car Wash and Detail Shop near the corner of Morganton and Broad in Southern Pines.
NCN News. I'm Mike Rayleigh. President Trump gave his State of the Union address in front of Congress last night and addressed many issues impacting the country right now. CBS News Chief Washington Correspondent Major Garrett.
Mr. Trump boasted about job and wage growth, suggested troop withdrawals were coming in Afghanistan and Syria, and announced a second summit with North Korea leader Kim Jong-un in Vietnam in 3 weeks.
If I had not been elected President of the United States, we would right now, in my opinion, be in a major war with North Korea.
Meanwhile, Democrat Stacey Abrams delivered the Democratic response. CBS News political consultant Leonard Steinhorn says Abrams' speech was good, but not groundbreaking.
Beyond the generic Democratic values and principles she laid out, there really wasn't that much substance on which Americans could sink their teeth, but it was a good basic statement of what Democrats stand for.
Governor Roy Cooper is speaking to members of Congress to urge the federal government to take action on curbing greenhouse emissions and prepare for the effects of climate change. Cooper plans to testify today before the House Committee on Natural Resources on Capitol Hill. Buncombe County Commissioners voted unanimously Tuesday to offer the manager's job to Avril Pender. Pender, who was Deputy County Manager of New Hanover County, will be the fourth person to serve the position in less than 2 years.
We will begin by elevating our core values and embedding them into everything that we do at every level of the organization.
A vote to relocate North Carolina's DMV headquarters from Raleigh to Rocky Mount has been postponed. It was on the agenda for Tuesday's Council of State meeting. Teresa Ryder tells CBS 17 she was stunned when she heard the low bid came from Rocky Mount.
Are you kidding me? Absolutely flabbergasted. Could not believe of all the options. They went to Rocky Mount.
You're listening to NCN News.
At AT&T, we believe that access to affordable home internet brings you incredible opportunities. You can enjoy the power to explore a digital world of possibilities and connect with family, friends, and the things that matter most. That's why there's access from AT&T. If a member of your household is a SNAP participant, you may qualify for home internet at a discounted rate of $10 a month. No commitment, no deposit, no installation fee. Plus, get an in-home Wi-Fi gateway at no extra cost. Call 1-855-220-5211 or visit att.com/aware to learn more.
SNAP refers to the Federal Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Pricing excludes tax. Service will include a monthly data allowance depending on the type and speed of service you receive. If you exceed your monthly data plan allowance, you will be automatically charged $10 for each 50 gigabytes of data usage in excess of your data plan, even if less than 50 gigabytes is used. For details about data allowances, go to att.com/internet-usage. Wi-Fi enabled device required. Other restrictions apply.
A DNA test proves she has a scant amount of Native American blood. Newly uncovered records show Senator Elizabeth Warren used her heritage to her advantage when she was a young lawyer.
Warren, for the first time, has apologized for identifying herself as Native American. Most recently, it was determined her State Bar of Texas registration identifies her as American Indian. Political opponents and critics, including the president, say she used her heritage to advance her academic and political career.
They call her Pocahontas.
Warren last year released a video verifying her ancestry from a DNA test, a fraction Native American.
My family history is my family history.
And she has expressed regret to the Cherokee Nation. Gary Nunn, CBS News.
Cape Hatteras National Seashore on North Carolina's Outer Banks asked the public this week to help clean up a shipwreck that spread debris across a mile of beach at Cape Point. A shrimp trawler flipped over and broke apart on the beach on Monday. President Trump's announcement of a second summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un was expected, but he kept his remarks surprisingly short.
After dramatically asserting that if he hadn't been elected president, America and North Korea would be fighting a major war now, Donald Trump has acknowledged much work remains to be done in talks. That's quite a shift from the claim right after his June summit with Kim that the nuclear threat from the North was over. The president's tune changed in other ways as well. For example, the word denuclearization was nowhere to be found. Analysts think keeping a lot of wiggle room is a smart move. Intelligence chiefs believe there is little likelihood Kim will voluntarily give up his nuclear weapons or missiles capable of carrying them. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The State Board of Agriculture, which oversees the North Carolina State Fair, approved price increases of about $2 on Tuesday for most admission tickets for the 2019 fair in October. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Good Wednesday morning. Warm temperatures stay in the forecast today with highs climbing into the mid-70s this afternoon. Partly sunny skies today and partly to mostly cloudy tonight. Lows tonight in the upper 50s to 60 degrees, possibly breaking our record warm low temperatures tonight. Record-breaking warmth in the forecast again tomorrow with breezy conditions, highs in the upper 70s to lower 80s with partly to mostly cloudy skies. I'm meteorologist Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
Right now here in the Sand Hills area, sunny skies, 48 degrees already. Humidity maxed out 100%, dew point 48, pressure 3012, winds calm Visibility is at 7 statute miles. It's 8:13. Let's take a quick look at your Sand Hills news for this Wednesday hump day. County commissioners voted unanimously yesterday morning to approve the sale of $34 million in bonds to finance a new elementary school in Southern Pines. This will be the second of 3 planned sales after voters overwhelmingly approved a $103 million bond referendum in May of 2018. The county issued $31 million in bonds last September for an elementary school off of NC5 in Aberdeen across from the Old Pit Golf Course. Construction began last year, and the school is set to open in August of 2020. The final $38 million installment later this year will finance a new elementary school in Pinehurst. Construction is expected to begin in a few weeks on the 800-student Southern Pines Elementary School in Morganton Park North is scheduled to open in August of 2020 as well. And authorities say approximately 30 people have been taken into custody after a raid by U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement agents at a North Carolina manufacturing plant. A statement from the Lee County Sheriff's Office on Tuesday said the raid on the plant in Sanford was the result of an ongoing investigation into identity theft and fraud. The statement said the Sheriff's Office assisted ICE agents at the request of federal officials. The plant is Bear Creek Arsenal, a gun manufacturing company. The statement added it's unclear if the plant is at fault. Also, the Sheriff's Office said the raid was not a random operation. That's your latest Sand Hills news this morning, but stand by. Here comes your latest in sports. Right now, here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB. It is 8:16.
NCN Sports. I'm Josh Zach. Luke May led the way with a season-high 31 points to go along with his dozen rebounds as number 8 North Carolina beat NC State last night in Chapel Hill 113-96. UNC shot 56% and dominated the glass as they tallied their most points in an ACC game in regulation time since 1968. Still, Roy Williams found things to complain about.
I told them last thing I said, we'll have clips pulled from this game, and there'll be a lot of negative clips because we've got to get better. And that's corny as all get out, but that's what I focus on every single day.
On the losing side, Braxton Beverly scored 17 points to lead the Wolfpack. His head coach, Kevin Keats, afterward, equally unhappy.
So we did an awful job. Obviously, at the top of the scout report, we talked about transition defense, and we talked about making sure that we don't give them second and third opportunities. And I didn't think we did a good job in either area.
It's the 12th time in 16 seasons under Roy Williams that the Heels swept the regular season set with State. The two teams currently headed in opposite directions. Carolina's won 6 in a row, while the Wolfpack now own a 3-game skid. In Durham, freshman Cam Reddish scored 24 points, and number 2 Duke shot 63% after halftime to pull away and beat Boston College 80-55. Zion Williamson had 16 points and a season-best 17 rebounds. R.J. Barrett finished with 19, and Trey Jones added 11 for the Blue Devils. Wake Forest also in action. They topped Pitt in overtime, 78-66. On the pro court, the L.A. Clippers rallied from 20 down to beat the Hornets in Charlotte 117-115. The Hornets had a chance to tie or win the game on their final possession, but Marvin Williams' three-pointer at the buzzer fell short. On the ice, Curtis McElhenney stopped 23 shots. Brent Pash and Jordan Martinook scored from way out, and the Hurricanes began a pivotal 5-game road trip with a 4-0 win over the Penguins in Pittsburgh. This is NCN Sports.
State lawmakers are cranking up a new legislative session. Everything's on the table. The budget, education, transportation, regulation. What are they doing, and how is it affecting you, your family, your business, your wallet? Carolina Journal helps you find answers. Available each month as a free newspaper. Every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your #1 source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
The Carolina Hurricanes' incredibly popular Homegrown series, as always, designed to celebrate the best North Carolina has to offer, returns on Friday, February 15th, as the Canes host the Edmonton Oilers. This time, you can indulge in a savory Brunswick stew, flights from Apex's Brewprint Brewing Company, and you can take home one of only 250 t-shirts specially designed by Glory Days Apparel. Learn more at hurricanes.com/homegrown.
Hundreds of thousands of cheering New England Patriots fans packed the streets of Boston to watch the team roll through downtown following Sunday's 13-3 Super Bowl win over the Los Angeles Rams, their 6th championship. In fact, more than 1 million fans, even though there's no official tally, celebrated the team's 6th title in celebratory duck boat parade fashion through the streets of central Boston yesterday. A Pennsylvania appeals court is denying Jerry Sandusky's request for a new trial, but is ordering him to be resentenced for a 45-count child sexual abuse conviction. A Superior Court judge on Tuesday said Sandusky was improperly sentenced using mandatory minimums. The 75-year-old Penn State assistant football coach was sentenced in 2012 to 30 to 60 years in state prison for sexual abuse of 10 boys. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Here's Jenny from Pinehurst, a patient at Sandhills Weekend Dental.
It may seem odd to look forward to going to a dentist, but as I told Dr. Terry Ann Sams, I always feel better when I leave their office than when I came in. Dr. Sams and the staff at Sandhills Weekend Dental just make you feel relaxed.
Sandhills Weekend Dental, Highway 211, just past Harris Teeter. Open Wednesday through Friday, 9 to 4, Saturday, 9 to 2. Call for an appointment at 910-867-4420. 687-4423.
Imagine a time when you have the freedom and resources to do all those things you've dreamed of without worrying about a tax bill. A time and place where all your hard-earned money works for you and not some government bureaucracy. Envision a carefree retirement. You've entered the tax-free zone. It's never been simpler to leave retirement uncertainty behind. Let me introduce you to my good friend, Coach Pete at Capital Financial and Insurance, LLC. Call Coach Pete at 888-623-8858. Again, that's 888-623-8858. And be sure to visit taxfreecoach.com for a very special webinar on reducing taxes in retirement. That's taxfreecoach.com. You'll be glad you visited the tax-free zone.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
Pride Plumbing is proud to serve Moore County with superior workmanship and dependable plumbing service, including 24/7 emergency service. Like the name says, we take pride in our work and your safety. Our employees must pass background and drug tests and share Pride Plumbing's reputation for quality service. From simple leaky faucets to new water heaters and sewer lines, backflow testing and installation, drain cleaning, plumbing repairs, and, if necessary, replacement and remodeling. A family business with over 50 years of prideful service. Go online to callprideplumbing.com and check out our 5-star customer reviews. We offer a 10% discount to all veterans and active military. Call Pride Plumbing of Moore County at 910-295-0152. 910-295-0152. Serving with pride since 1965.
This is Hand On Golf, live at the PGA Merchandise Show in Orlando, Florida. I'm speaking with
Jeff Parkman from Cobra Golf.
Jeff's going to tell us all about the new irons they just introduced at the show.
That would be the Game Improvement F9 Speedback iron. So really 3 things that we wanted to improve upon. One, the R&D team wanted to add distance to the golf club, so more distance, more peak height for softer landings, and more forgiveness. To accomplish that, they made the blade a little bit longer, added some tungsten weights, heel and toe. That certainly helps with the forgiveness. Lower profile combined with a wider sole allows us to go with a low, deeper center of gravity, so that gives us the peak height and better landing angles. And also, we've improved the face insert. So the face insert's a little thinner across the impact areas. That gives us a little more ball speed as well. Terrific irons available both in variable length and one length, and we certainly suggest you go see your local golf professional and make sure you get fit for these.
Thank you, Jeff. Available at Golf Augusta on Highway 1 in Southern Pines.
Jared Kirk and Amy McBride of the First Casualty Insurance Group in Southern Pines talk about the benefits of being an FCIG customer.
Our agency has been in business since 1984. We are an independent agency, which means that we have numerous carriers. Having multiple carriers benefits our customers because it offers them more options for their coverage and price.
One of the most asked questions we get from our clients is how much do they need to insure their home for? Many clients think they should insure their home based on tax value or what they could sell their home for. Neither is correct.
Insurance carriers want to insure your home for the replacement value. Replacement value is what it would take to rebuild rebuild your home back to its current state in the event of a complete loss.
First Casualty Insurance Group of Southern Pines. Call them today at 910-692-8303 or find them on the web at fcignc.com.
Step back in time for a moment to a time and place where biscuits were made fresh every day by friendly folks. That place still exists in a place known as Biscuitville. What's your favorite? Savory country ham, country sausage, country fried steak, fried chicken, pork chop, gravy, egg and cheese, bacon, egg and cheese? Man, oh man, I'm not choosy. I just gotta have Biscuitville. And don't forget to try their cheesy cheddar grits, pancake platters, or party biscuits. Biscuitville, fresh biscuits, friendly folks on US 1 in Aberdeen.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt zone. A fellow flew into me yesterday. He was angry because I had called all Democrats evil. Well, I flew right back. I stand by what I said. If you're a Democrat, you're evil. Democrats pass laws that make it okay to kill a full-term baby. There's only one way to do that: rip them apart in the womb. Please do not tell me you are a Democrat, but you don't support that, because yes, you do. You support it with your votes, your money, and your absolute refusal to admit the Democrat Party is nowhere near what it used to be. Can you imagine talking to a Nazi during World War II, and while they were killing millions of Jews, and having them tell you, well, I don't support killing the Jews, but I am a Nazi. Now, in today's environment, some of you are going to be furious. I can hear you now. Oh, he's calling us Nazis. I'll tell you what I'm calling you: killers of innocent people who cannot protect themselves. In your case, babies. In the case of the Nazis, it was the Jews. Democrats, enough is enough. Send your party a message. Leave them. If you don't want to be a Republican, go unaffiliated. You can still vote for whoever you want to vote for, but at least choose to support candidates who do not support killing the innocent. I'm not going to let this subject go. I hope everyone who hears this will keep thinking about it, talking about it. If we do not protect these innocent children, you tell me who will. I hate this. In the Zumwalt zone.
Good morning. Another beautiful and warm days in the forecast today, but you'll start to notice an increase in mid to upper level clouds throughout the day today. We're partly sunny and mild. Highs today back in the mid 70s. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy and very warm. Lows in the upper 50s to 60 degrees. Actually warmer than our normal high temperature this time of year tonight. For record-breaking warmth tomorrow, we're looking at highs in the upper 70s to even lower 80s towards the Sandhills. I'm Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the Leader Man. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
Is this a Wednesday? Every Wednesday.
TGI Hump Day, huh?
Hump Day.
You want a show?
Sure, let's start at the beginning.
Well, how do you like this?
No, not that. You wanted a show? I'm giving you a show.
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
I'll make it happen.
Make it happen, Captain.
Oh, I'll make it happen. Always make it happen.
Yeah. Let's make it happen. You want a show? I'll give you a show. Yeah.
Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It is time again for Mornings with the Leader Man. I am Steve Leader Adams, and don't forget, of course, this program being heard and seen around the world on a live video stream. That's available at talk973.com. Top middle of the page is where it's located. The link, hit that once, that'll get you there. If you're on your mobile device, YouTube will get the link up there for you. Just put Mornings with the Leader Man into the search. If you're on your mobile device just looking for our audio stream, we suggest many services that will accommodate you, like TuneIn, iTunes, Streamer. Many others will also do it. Just put WEEB in the search, and always you can get it off of our website, too, at talk973.com. Every web page has a little icon in the upper right-hand corner of every page where it says Listen Live. Tap that once and you're listening to us that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sandhills area, partly cloudy today. An unbelievable 76 for a high, but it gets even worse tomorrow. Partly cloudy tonight, low of 58 tomorrow. Partly cloudy, we'll be pushing 80 degrees in the middle of winter. Who would have thought? Mostly clear tomorrow night, a low of 59. Friday, partly cloudy, high of 74. Saturday and Sunday, back to more seasonable temperatures, partly cloudy with highs in the low 50s. Right now around the Sand Hills, winds are calm. Visibility 7 statute miles. Pressure is 3012, dew point 48. Humidity 100%. Is sunny and 48 degrees currently here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. All right, it is 8:29, 29 now past the hour on this Wednesday hump day, and as we do on Wednesdays, we invite John Zoom on in for an extended Zoom on zone. Today he has one of our area heroes, who retired Colonel Ken Benway, U.S. Army retired. Is that, I got all that right, didn't I?
Sure did.
And Ken, they got a lot to talk about, John.
Well, good morning. Thank you, Steve. This is not going to be just a chat this morning. It's also a call to action, I believe, and I know that we have got a lot of veterans and also active duty folks with us that listen to this, and so I hope you'll pay particular attention, because there's things that you can do and that Ken will be talking about that you can do for this great nation. Ken served 27 years in active duty. I think he's better known for being the husband of Mary Ann, but he spent 27 years. He was in Vietnam as a Special Forces medic.
Let's just say he married way above his pay grade.
Yeah.
I'm a straight man.
Okay. Well, he was in Vietnam as a Special Forces medic, and I think just about every SF guy will admit that the medic's usually the smartest one on the team. He's had leadership roles all over Germany and with the 509th Parachute Combat Team, and I could keep going for a long time, but we have a limited time, and I would like for him to be able to talk about things that you probably need to hear and will be interested to hear. He retired in 1993 when he was a senior special operations analyst and program manager, and he continues to serve today. Good morning. You don't mind if I call you Ken, do you?
Please do.
I'm off camera. You can't see it, but I was a sergeant, and he's making me stand at attention when I was. So, the first thing I want to ask you is about special operations community. That's what we're here to talk about primarily, and this is what we're going to have a call to action for about when we're get close to the end. Can you tell me who founded that and what is it, just as simply as you can?
Sure. You're referring to Special Operations Speaks, which is a FEC.
What did I call it?
Special Operations Community.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is a segment of that.
Yeah.
The Special Operations Speaks is actually a political action committee, a PAC, and we started back in 2012 based on a bunch of heated phone calls we had amongst three of us when the Obama administration released operationally secret information about the bin Laden takedown. In order to get to keep the discussion going, we opened a small website called specialoperationspeaks.com, and within about a month we were getting 100,000 hits a month on that. So we'd struck a nerve, and that evolved into us becoming a PAC, and us becoming involved in especially the Benghazi situation.
Well, let me go back to the original reason, the operational security violations, or as we call it, OPSEC. I'm not sure that every civilian could possibly understand how dreadful of an OPSEC violation that was. Can you explain to us a little bit about what the violation was and how it came to be, and just tell it so that a civilian who's never had any military experience whatsoever, so that they can understand the true severity of this and how we couldn't believe it when we heard it.
Yeah, the Benghazi operation was a special operation, and those sorts of things are governed and secured by special category security classifications. Very, very compartmented, very limited information. The Obama administration, to puff up its political posturing a little bit, I think, went ahead and released classified information to the public on the Bin Laden raid. They released information on the flight unit and the actual ground unit that conducted the operation. Now that sort of thing, terrorists have an awful long memory, and those sorts of things to this day. Also, they went so far as to open up the operational reports of that classified operation to movie producers and screenwriters in Hollywood. That was entirely unacceptable.
And although it may sound silly to someone who's not really familiar with this, we know, the intel world especially knows, that every little piece of information you garner is just one more in the puzzle for the bad guys to understand how next time they can thwart something like this. And Ken, it's not much worse, if any. Matter of fact, probably not as bad as what Hillary Clinton did with her BlackBerry and her phones.
Exactly. The information provided to the public consisted of an awful lot of top secret tactics, techniques, and procedures that cost millions of dollars to develop over time. We also had a hand in the Benghazi and Hillary Clinton email operation down the road a bit.
Well, that's something else. I'll say this very, very quickly. Every single person in the military knows, and it's beaten into you, and you understand it, and State Department people know, that you do not have even something on your phone or in your possession that even says classified, much less secret, much less top secret, much less top secret SCI, much less a SAP. And she had all of those, and those are all penitentiary time without a shadow of a doubt for anyone else, I believe. So it's very upsetting, very frustrating. Yep. I want to let folks know how serious SOS has been taken. You've had some pretty high, let me use the word falutin since I'm pretty sophisticated, visitors and people who have come to your conferences and talked to you personally and to your group. Can you just tell me a couple of them?
Yeah, sure. Back in February of 2016, we held something called the Veteran Patriots Action Conference. We were trying to mature the Special Operations Speaks concept, and we've been touring with the notion of something called Vets in the Fight. So we brought about 120 folks from across the country together at the Embassy Suites Convention Center in Charlotte, South Carolina, during the same week as the presidential primaries. We invited all the candidates to come in and talk to us, and actually got Bernie Sanders responded and very politely said he couldn't make it, but nobody else did. But the morning of the second day, the Secret Service shows up in force and says, Dr. Ben Carson is coming in to talk to you for about an hour. So we had to go through all the security gyrations, etc. In comes Dr. Carson and about 50 TV crews from across the cable world. Anyway, he spoke to us for about an hour and gave us his position on certain veterans situations. We concurred and added a few more to that. Then that afternoon, we were closing out the convention, people heading out to catch planes back home, etc. And who walks in but the security guys from the Trump campaign. And Trump came in and sat down with us for about 30 minutes, took his own notes, picked our brains on what issues concerned us. And next day, some of those issues showed up in his acceptance speech, having won the South Carolina primary. So that's a couple of the folks who do it.
Well, the reason I wanted to mention that is because it can show everyone who's listening how much you actually can do. We often sit around, and everyone that knows me knows I'm upset about this abortion issue. We can do something, and Ken and 3 others started this organization, and look what it grew into, where you actually have 2 very powerful men who became a cabinet member, and the other one became, of course, president, that came to visit with you.
Our SOS challenge coin is on the display case behind President Trump's.
Okay, you're going to have to explain that.
Yeah, well, when he was visiting with us
Trump.
Pardon?
Donald Trump?
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
When he was visiting with us in Charlotte, we presented him with a Special Operations Challenge coin. He was really pleased with that. And it appears on his display case behind his chair in the Oval Office.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. one of your missions is to encourage the veteran community, and this is where your call to action is going to be, to engage in voting and to hold the government accountable and to serve in public office. How much luck are we having getting veterans to serve in public office?
Increasingly, pretty good showing, actually. We've supported some folks who've made it into the U.S. Congress. Senator DeSantis became a senator and then governor. Brian Mast down in Florida lost both legs and an arm in Vietnam. He was a bomb disposal expert. Dan Crenshaw out of Texas, the new congressman you've seen a lot of. He's really made a splash on Twitter. Go to Dan Crenshaw TX, take a look at his Twitter account. And we've got Colonel Michael Waltz out of Florida, also retired Special Forces Lieutenant Colonel, who was just sworn in as a congressman from 6th District in Florida. So we're starting to gain some momentum. And here, let me go back to the concept behind all of this. And it's called Vets in the Fight. In fact, we thought it's so important that we've gone ahead and trademarked that phrase. Vets in the Fight are a couple of things. Number one, it's all veterans honorably discharged who continue to live by their oaths, their military oaths. Secondly, it's a call to action for those veterans to vote and get their families to vote. And, of course, that implies registering to vote as well. So to vote, to serve in public office, and to hold government accountable. And we're gaining momentum in all three of those fronts right now.
Well, Ken, there's a very well-known saying that all politics are local. And let me throw this idea out there. You can tell me what you think, but we need good people to run locally and to support our schools, maybe run for school board. We need good folks to run for county commissioner. No implication here that we don't have, I'm not making any judgments on anyone in there now, but we always need good folks. So if you're a veteran and you're listening, I hope that you'll consider contacting Ken at the end of this, and he'll give you ways to do that. And just ask him about how viable would it be for me to consider running for a state of North Carolina or a local office here, because you've got talents and you've got leadership skills, and you've got guts and backbone and spine, and you've proven your courage, and we need you. We need good men and good women who will stand up and do what's right. And anything to add to that, Ken?
Yeah, our intent is to bring duty, honor, country, and competence to the public square. Whether that public square is down here in Moore County or in Washington, D.C.
Okay, repeat those words, because I think people want to stand up and cheer when they hear them.
Yeah, we want to bring duty, honor, country, and competence to the public square.
Very good.
That's our objective.
Very good. I don't want to miss this, so I would like to talk about it right now. One of my favorite things that you were involved in was the World War II memorial that was closed, and how you guys just said, "To heck with this, we're gonna take it over." Can you tell us what you did?
Yeah, that was back in October of 2013. The government shut down, and the Obama administration shut all the memorials on the National Mall down. But they included the memorial to the World War II veterans, which is not funded by the government, but is funded by private donations. So we tossed that around a little bit, and about 5 days ahead of time, we announced that we were going to march on the World War II memorial on Sunday, the 13th of October. We were kind of ambitious. We began calling that the Million Veteran March, but that turned out to be about 10,000 folks that showed up. But that's okay. We had about 100 16-wheeler rigs scattered out around the 495 Beltway, trying to get in to support us, and the cops were not hearing anything about that. In any event, we showed up at the World War II Memorial. It was closed, had barriers all around it. And we had Sarah Palin come in. We had Senator Cruz, and about a dozen other politicians came in and spoke about their opposition to that sort of thing. In the end, we says, okay, we're going to reopen this monument before us here. So we grabbed all the barriers, and somebody said, let's take the barriers down to the White House. And we were off to the races. And we had those vets carry those barriers down there and dump them in front of the White House gate. And the memorial was open the rest of the day, and people enjoyed it. And we had a cross-section of America there that day. So it's kind of demonstrates what just a few people, with the help of the Internet, you'd be totally unable to do this sort of thing without the Internet. What a few people can do when they're determined.
So a bunch of veterans went down to the World War II memorial that was closed and opened it. They took the barriers, and not only did they just take them away, they took them and threw them in the White House area. So, yeah, that shows you what we can do when we get people to have some spine involved.
Yeah. I've got a photo of one of those vets on the Segway. He's a double amputee. He had 2 prosthetic legs. He's mounted up on his Segway with an American flag. And he's got one of those barriers on his Segway, and he's headed to the White House.
They took his legs, but they didn't take his heart.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly iconic vet in the fight.
Yep, exactly. I want to ask you, how can people who are non-military, have no military connections at all, the good people who just chose to take another route other than the military, what can they do to help any of your different programs you have going on? Can they be involved in this, or is it just we don't?
Oh, they sure can. We connect with the public pretty significantly during the course of any given week. We have the Special Operations Speaks on our Facebook. Mm-hmm. We reach about 500,000 people each week on that. We've got our Twitter account at SpecOpsSpeaks.com. At SpecOpsSpeaks on Twitter.
Do me a favor, Ken.
Yeah.
Not everybody speaks military jargon. Can you spell out Spec Ops? I know that sounds ridiculous to you, but a lot of folks may not know how you spell that.
Yeah, that would be SPECOPS Speaks, SPEAKS.
And I know everyone's thinking, well, Zoom on just because you can't spell it, we can, but I'm probably one of the ones that couldn't. Yeah. Go ahead.
And we've also got a website, SpecialOperationsSpeaks.com.
SpecialOperationsSpeaks.com.
Special Operations, plural. Special Operations Speaks.
Okay, it's plural.
And take a look around there and see what you'd be interested in reinforcing and helping us out with. We'd much appreciated.
And I hope you will, folks. I hope you really will, because this is I really do believe that we need good candidates at every level, and I think this is a good way to get them. I'm going to completely switch here.
Just one more thing real
go
quick,
ahead, Ken.
JD. None of us get paid for what we do, period. And we function based on donations from the public. So when you go to our website, there's a little donate button down there in the right-hand corner. Go ahead and take a look at that, and anything you can donate will be much appreciated and well used.
You cannot get out of here without asking for a donation for a good cause like this. Can you mention a couple of names that are involved with this organization besides yourself?
Yeah, myself and Dave Miller, who lives here in West Spring Pines, is my second partner. And the third is Dick Brower down in the Redneck Riviera in Florida, down there in Shalimar.
Okay.
Dick and I were two of the 3 original founders. The third founder emeritus at this point was Captain Larry Bailey out in Chocowinity, North Carolina, retired Navy SEAL captain.
We won't hold that against him, I guess.
No, we'll try not to.
Okay, I said I was going to change the subject because I know that you've been involved with a new treatment for folks who have, I call it PTSD, I think has been a shortened name. Now, I know that there's no way that you can go into all this and explain it. So rather than do that, I actually had a question emailed to me from someone who knew that you were going to be here, and they had heard you speak the other day, and they want me to ask you, what can they do if they have a loved one who has PTSD but doesn't really want to admit it? What can they do to help?
Wow.
Because that's pretty common.
Sure it is. And that person somehow has got to take the first step. You can lead the horse to water, but of course, you know the rest of that. This reconsolidation of traumatic memories, RTM process that we're supporting, is a benign process. It's not rigorous. It's not. There's no drugs involved whatsoever, and it's fairly short term, about about 6-hour process. But it's been highly successful in eliminating nightmares and flashbacks among PTSD patients, from really released soldiers to old guys in Vietnam. They were very successful.
Well, I resent that. But
well, I know, me too.
You should too.
I had to say that.
Well, listen, it's been shown to be successful, and from the data that I've seen, it works. But yet we can't get the huge the folks doing this can't get the huge bureaucracy of the VA to accept this. So here's what I want to say: if you're a wife out there, you should maybe get online at the sites that Ken talked about, and get a hold of him or some of the folks involved, and see if you can look into this, because there are a lot. The families suffer from living with someone with PTSD, and when we know that, there's no secret. So.
Yeah, I would suggest everybody take a look at a website called researchandrecognition.org. Dr. Frank Bork is the head of this RTM project, and he's got all the background on it. And he has begun to establish certified counselors across the nation, just in the initial stages. He held a class of about 30 folks back in December in Albuquerque. But go ahead and take a look at that website. It gives you all the information you need to know. Some wonderful testimonials from patients who've come through this real well, and it's worth contacting Dr. Bork and finding out where they can get a counselor. And we would love to have some folks who counsel vets from Moore County go to one of these certification courses.
And that could happen.
It could.
And so if you're a husband or a wife or anything else, a son, daughter, uncle of someone who has this, can you give that website one more time?
Sure. It's researchandrecognition.org.
Okay, good, thanks. You said you can lead a horse to water. I hope I'll be forgiven for this, but I heard a comedian the other day he said his wife would always get these sayings mixed up, and she said to him one day, "Honey, you can lead a horse to water, but that doesn't make it right." So anyway, let's get back to being serious again.
Yeah.
Benghazi. You mentioned Benghazi got you guys riled up, and it got me riled up as well, and I hope it got everyone riled up. It's no use to say anything more. If you've seen the movie 13 Hours, and I hope you have, it kind of got the ball rolling again. But do you have any idea, Ken? I know that in one of your former jobs, you had a great deal to do with the support of this unit will support this unit, and if this happens, this unit's ready to roll in and help. So you have a great deal of insight on that. I'm sure a lot of it's classified. But can you think of any scenario in your mind that could possibly be a viable reason of why no one responded to Benghazi to help these men?
None. Absolutely none. Every theater regional commander has plans to respond to attacks on embassies and their consulates. And those things, once they get rolling, automatically, literally hundreds of organizations get involved.
And it's not just American.
No, that's right. It's international as well. But within the classified environment, everybody's a player, and everybody begins doing their thing immediately. So any indication of an embassy under attack, the whole thing goes into high gear. I don't know how you could possibly stop that from proceeding to beyond a certain point. There's so much momentum to all that effort, but somehow they stopped it in its tracks.
So if I'm interpreting this correctly, no one had to do anything to get the ball rolling, to get help on the way immediately, but someone had to do something to stop that.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Somewhere out there are probably hundreds of watch officers and action officers who got little memos about what actually happened that night.
Yeah. In other words,
it was something unusual. It would be impossible not to be awestruck by what was going on because it was so out of kilter.
And on top of that, when you throw in that we know, we've been talking about it this morning, we know the hearts and minds of military, they're dying to get there. They can't wait to get on that airplane and go help. Pilots, Marines, Air Force, Navy, Army, and I'll even throw in Coast Guard because I love the Coast Guard. The minds and hearts, they're ready to go help, but they couldn't do it.
These units' annual training tasks and the resources they get for them are pointed at that specific thing, reacting to these crises. And there was certainly a crisis at Benghazi.
Yeah. Well, do we know, and you may not be able to answer this, were there any military assets that were deployed to the Benghazi area just because of the Benghazi meeting, or do we even know that?
Back in 2013, I wrote up a number of Freedom of Information Act requests, and those requests dealt with that specific question. We got zipped back from DOD, and some of those FOIA are under litigation right now.
Explain FOIA.
Freedom of Information Act.
Yep.
They would send us back pages of black striped redactions and just the page number at the bottom. Unacceptable. And generally, there were always organizations, units afloat in the Mediterranean, not far from these hot places, and we pretty much demonstrated that even if the F-16s at Aviano were activated, they could have gotten down there and with a quick refueling and at least buzzed the place.
And you and I both know from experience that if one of those things flies over low, people are scattering because in their mind, the pilot can see every single one of them and know right where he's at, and they're afraid, and I would be too.
And there were laser target designators on the ground, so they would have been in a hurt had they used those aircraft.
Here's one that I've always wondered about, and it may go to my grave wondering about this, but I hope not anytime soon. Do we know who was in the White House Situation Room, and do we know where the president was at the time?
Yeah, pretty much the National Command Authority was there. The president, the Secretary of Defense, Hillary Clinton, and any number of intelligence organizations were present there. At some point, Obama left and went to the west end of the White House, and was not seen till next morning, till he embarked on a fundraising tour. I think it was to Las Vegas. I have some ideas on how they might have decided where he was at any given moment, but I'm not going to talk about that now. So there were plenty of people on top of this, and they began formulating their disinformation campaign that night. And that played out on cable TV for the next several weeks.
Oh, my gosh. And it was obvious disinformation. Yep. The first day it came out, folks that know about these kinds of things could predict it. Well, Ken, we're running out of time, and I was afraid that was going to happen. But, okay, we need folks to run for office locally. We need folks that will help, and we're talking primarily veterans here because that's what you do. And we're looking for, and we want to talk about helping folks, families, military families whose husbands or wives might have some problems because of combat tours and things like that. So I'm going to ask you one more time to say anything you want, but just to give those two websites or three or whatever they were, if you would.
Sure. These are pretty important action items. So if you could drop us a query at info@specopsspeaks.com. That's our email address. We'll take a look at what you've got, and we'll start a conversation. It's not too early to start looking at 2020. We're hoping to run a new candidate boot camp sometime in 2019. Of course, we've got to get that funded.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Ken. I really appreciate it. We've been talking to Ken Benway, husband of Mary Ann Benway, and retired Lieutenant Colonel, Special Forces. And Ken, I want to tell you thank you, and I appreciate what your group does very much, and I hope folks will join you.
Thank you.
And I hope a lot of folks will consider running for office. Like you said, 2020 is not that far away. And in order to get organized and get a game plan and get the support that you need and people in place to execute the plan, it takes a little time. So it's not too late to get started and obviously hopefully you'll be successful with your ideas. All right, so it goes for this Wednesday, hump day. Have yourself a great, safe day. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow, 7 to 9 for a thumping Thursday. Until then, be sure to support all the mom and pop businesses here on our airways because they are the backbone of our economy here in Moore County. Your money will stay here, roll over, and create jobs. And don't forget, millions of Americans have fought and have died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. Live today worthy of their and their family's sacrifice. I'm Steve Leader Adams, and the Leader Man and Dick and Colt the Dog will all see you at the very hot dog park this afternoon at 2.